So, the classified documents case in South Florida, it may have just headed into the Everglades swamp. We have the latest breaking update in this ongoing saga of President Trump, his valet and co-defendant, Walt Nauta, and his video handyman and co-defendant, Carlos de Oliveira. The story happens as Trump fired key members of the DOJ related to this case just earlier this week. Stick around for the many plot twists and turns in this one.
Breaking news that we're getting. So the Justice Department is firing, quote, over a dozen officials who were part of the team that was put together by former special counsel Jack Smith that sought to prosecute Donald Trump for his role in the January 20th, in the January 6, 2021 attack on the U.S. Capitol, and for those classified documents as well. So the acting Attorney General under Trump, James McHenry, sent letters to these officials informing them of their termination. And officials told us that it was because they were taking part in prosecutions. They couldn't be trusted, quote, in faithfully implementing the president's agenda. Now, this was expected.
Now, as to the subjects of our breaking story that we have for you today, coming up just a second, it seems that the fate of Walt Nauta and Carlos de Oliveira may well be sealed. Now, let's take a quick look first at this dynamic duo and the inner workings at Mar-a-Lago. After that, we'll have our breaking report about this highly classified game of hide and seek. Let's see how we got here and who the players are.
All of this is happening because of these charges that Mr. de Oliveira is facing, and I think we really have to look at some background here, a little bit of context. Mr. de Oliveira is a property manager at Mar-a-Lago, someone who worked his way through the ranks, apparently has worked at Mar-a-Lago for over a decade. And just from our own reporting, we went to his neighborhood, a townhouse, a middle-class neighborhood in Palm Beach Gardens, just about 20 minutes north of Palm Beach. And this is not someone who is believed to be part of the inner circle of Mr. Trump's orbit. This is a property manager at Mar-a-Lago, apparently working his way up through maintenance. So a lot of questions about what exactly it is that will happen next with him.
Mr. Nauta, how are you feeling today?
Today, Walt Nauta, Donald Trump's personal aide and now his co-defendant, showed up in a Miami courthouse and pleaded not guilty to multiple charges related to the former president's alleged mishandling of classified information. Nauta still works for Trump and was most recently seen by his side last week in Philadelphia. According to the indictment from special counsel Jack Smith, after Trump was served with a federal subpoena requiring him to return all classified documents in his possession, Nauta repeatedly moved boxes in and out of a storage room in Mar-a-Lago at Trump's request. The aide is charged with 6 counts, including conspiracy to obstruct justice and making false statements.
All right, let's get right to it. Our featured story today, it comes from CNBC, and it goes like this. The Department of Justice on Wednesday ended an effort to prosecute 2 men in Florida for allegedly helping their former co-defendant, President Donald Trump, hide classified documents from officials seeking their recovery. The DOJ, in a court filing, asked to voluntarily dismiss an appeal that sought to revive its criminal case against the men, Trump's valet, Walt Nauta, and Carlos de Oliveira, a worker at Trump's Mar-a-Lago club in Palm Beach, Florida. The government has conferred with counsel for Apeliz, Waltine, Nauta, and Carlos de Oliveira, who do not object to the voluntary dismissal. Miami U.S. Attorney Hayden O'Byrne wrote in the filing at the 11th Circuit U.S. Court of Appeals. The filing comes 2 days after the DOJ fired officials involved in the now terminated prosecution of Trump by former special counsel Jack Smith. The DOJ, weeks after November's election, dropped an appeal that sought to revive criminal charges against Trump in the classified documents case because of a department policy that bars prosecution of sitting presidents. The department, on the same day and for the same reason, asked a federal judge to dismiss its criminal case against Trump in U.S. District Court in Washington, D.C., where he was charged with crimes in connection with his attempt to reverse his loss to former President Joe Biden in the 2020 election. The department was expected to drop its effort to prosecute Nauta and de Oliveira because of Trump's authority as president to order the DOJ to take such an action. Trump has claimed that he and his co-defendants were targeted by the DOJ under the Biden administration for political reasons. Trump had been charged by Jack Smith in the U.S. District Court in South Florida with crimes related to his retention of classified documents at Mar-a-Lago after the end of his first term in the White House in January 2021, and with obstructing the recovery of those records by government officials. In July, District Court Judge Aileen Cannon, whom Trump nominated to the bench, dismissed the case against Trump, Nada, and De Oliveira. Cannon, in a ruling, wrote that Smith's appointment as special counsel by then Attorney General Merrick Garland violated the appointment clause of the U.S. Constitution. The DOJ then filed an appeal at the 11th Circuit, asking that court to reverse Cannon's decision. The department voluntarily dismissed that appeal as it related to Trump on November 25th. Well, if TV has given us anything, turns out it actually gave us the president, it gives great secondary nefarious characters as well. And so Walt Nada and Daniel De Oliveira are now free to join a long line of forgotten henchmen who've been beaten up in the service of dastardly super criminals.
Get them, boys. Get them, or it's curtains!